Chances are, if you are watching this video, you are most likely in the ages of 20 to 25, maybe 28, 29. You're in your 20s and you feel very lost and you feel very behind. And if you feel lost in your 20s, you might think you're broken, you're not worthy of something, and you just don't have anything figured out. But the truth is, none of us really have anything figured out. You're not broken, you're just really early. And honestly, being early is a lot better than, feeling this pain when you're in the middle of your 30s. Everyone tells you that these are supposed to be the best years of your life, or you're supposed to party, go out, meet people, etc., etc., etc. No one truly mentions half the time when you're in your 20s, it feels like you have no idea what the hell you're doing with your life. You keep thinking of the different paths and what you could have done and what this should have been and who you should have been with and where you should have been in life and if you should have studied this and if you should have went to school for this. But every time you scroll and every time you go on your phone, you compare yourself, you overthink. But at the end of the day, I promise you, you are not behind. You are just in the middle of becoming who you are supposed to be. And this is just the time of you getting there. I've always heard this saying, and one of my close friends many, many years ago told me this, and it stuck with me for a long, long time. I think I heard this when I was just starting off, figuring out who I wanted to be and figuring out this whole business thing. He told me, Sean, you are who you are supposed to be, and who you are supposed to be is waiting for you. You're just catching up. And that piece of advice stuck with me for a very long time. Hey, it led me to be here. This is not a video today about social media marketing and running a PR agency and getting clients and closing clients. I just wanted to get on here, sit in front of the camera and talk to you guys one-on-one and tell you, if you're lost in your 20s, you're not broken, you're just early. Part one is everyone is figuring it out. I used to think everyone else had life figured out, and I'm sitting here, a kid, not knowing what the fuck I want to do, what I'm doing. Nothing is working for me. Everything I'm trying is just failing. But even people with perfect jobs, perfect relationships, perfect routines. You might see these people on social media all the time, but there's a very famous saying that says, don't meet your heroes. Once you start meeting these people that you idolize on social media, you idolize on TV, and you start to get to know them, you really truly realize all these founders, creators, CEOs, celebrities are literally just normal people. They are just like you and sometimes a lot fucking worse than you. I have met some celebrities, I won't name drop, and some gurus online and some people that I used to watch and think, holy fucking shit, this guy is a loser. Listen, at the end of the day, people aren't who they portray themselves are, and no one really has anything figured out. Everyone is just improvising. We are all improvising day to day on what we're doing, how we're doing it. Some people are just really good at hiding it, and some people are really good at thinking on their feet. And that is probably the most important thing I learned as being a young 20-year-old kid, especially figuring my life out a lot sooner. I started figuring my life out probably around the age of 15 when I started working. Granted, that is a lot sooner than what normally you should be doing. A lot of people start figuring it out during this age, but regardless of the fact, the difference is people keep going when it feels unclear, and when the people that keep going when they're lost and they have no idea what the fuck they're doing and they continue to improvise day by day by day and figure it out on their feet, that's where the momentum builds from, and these are the people that end up becoming successful in this world. Not the people that just sit back, say, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, scroll on TikTok, boom, 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 all day long, and end up getting literally nowhere in life because they are so worried about how they are not who they want to be instead of figuring out how they can become that person. Life is an interesting thing. It's a very weird thing where things aren't ever to go as planned. I made a TikTok about this if you guys want to check it out. The TikTok was basically just explaining, you know exactly what you need to do to get to where you want to be. People just have a very hard time of actually doing it. No one actually knows what the fuck is going to happen. Life is very stressful, and no matter if you are sitting here making no money or if you are making $1 million a month, life will always be stressful. There will always be things that you don't know, and there's always going to be things that you need to figure out, and there's always going to be things that are going to stress you the fuck out. But at the end of the day, if you don't know how to compromise, improvise, and move on your feet, you will literally get nowhere. The people that made it, as far as they have made it in life, or that you think have made it as far as they've made it in life, have one thing in common. They are good on their feet and they are good at improvising. And these two things will genuinely propel you to the next level, if you can sit in front of your desk and do what you think that needs to be done every single day, because all of us know deep down what we need to do and how to do it. So if all of us can just sit down and get to fucking work and just continue to think on your feet, I promise you, you will be a lot farther in life if you just sit here and complain about not knowing what the fuck to do. Trust me, everyone is figuring it out. None of us know what the fuck we're doing. We are all just little incels walking on a big giant globe with rocks and water. So nothing really matters. Put your head down and get to work, and you guys all know what you need to do. You know exactly what steps you need to take, who you need to cut out, what habits you need to change. It is just, I guess it's just a lack of like self-respect almost. It's a lack of fear. Like, people have a lot of fear doing this, and I mean, come on. Everyone knows what to do, and everyone is also figuring it out. Don't feel left behind. Let's get into the confusion part where people also get confused, because it's about confusion. Confusion means you're growing. Confusion doesn't mean that you're left behind. Feeling lost is actually a sign that you're leveling up in life and you're actually getting somewhere, because you're lost on, you're in this part of in between of where you're supposed to be and where you were. And this part in the middle is what I like to call the confusion stage. And this confusion stage will always be present in your life, no matter how far you get and no matter where you are in life. There is a point where you will be confused in the middle of it, of not knowing if this is the right thing to do and if you should go back to normal. And this is the part where you need to keep going. Think about it. Every time you grow, every time you outgrow your old routines, outgrow friends, outgrow habits, outgrow basically everything in life. That's not failure, that's just progress, and that's just life continuing to move on. Growth always looks like confusion at first. You might cut off a girlfriend, you might cut off a friend, and you might be, holy fuck, you're just confused, and you're stuck in this like weird phase of like you don't know what to do, and you like changed a habit, and you're trying something new, and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna work, this is feeling weird, etc., etc., etc. Growth always looks like confusion at first. When I was building my business, there were several days that I just literally wanted to quit and just be like, fuck, I should have focused on school. I should have literally just like locked the fuck in and went and become a doctor like my mom told me to. Like, nothing made sense. Like, I thought I was literally just falling behind and I was just literally a loser at the end of the day. Like, there's been days that I've been sitting in front of this computer, this exact same setup. I've had the exact same desk probably for a few years now. And there's been times where I've been sitting at this desk in this exact chair, looking at my computer and saying, fuck, I haven't made any money this month. I'm broke. Nothing is working. I'm falling behind. But looking back at it, that was the transition phase. That's the part nobody shows you. That's the part social media misses. That's the part people forget to tell you about when they're explaining their story. When you're breaking the old version of yourself, you're making room for a new one. And you're making room for these new habits. But your mind is still stuck in between the two. So, confusion means you're growing. Don't get it twisted, and don't let it discourage you and knock you off your grind. Stop comparing your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20. You're comparing your beginning stages to someone's ultimate successes, and that's what screws up a lot of people. And I think this is why social media is the worst thing that you guys can be consuming. I know there's a lot of good content out there, and hey, I'd like to say thank you guys for watching my content, but social media is very deceiving, especially TikTok and Instagram. There is a lot of videos of lifestyle content, of videos of people literally doing everything. A lot of people LARP on social media, let's be honest. Like, no one actually lives this life. Half of these people just find clips on the internet and post them as themselves, or they'll just go rent a car and say, hey, I just bought a car, right? But regardless of the fact, you're comparing someone's successes to you starting out, and I mean, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, you're not going to compare yourself to someone in the second grade, and if you're in the second grade, you're not going to be like, fuck, this guy has a job. Like, there's no point of it. The fastest way to lose yourself is comparing your timeline to someone else's. You'll see someone you be 25, making millions of dollars, or 20 years old, and he's driving a GT3 RS, and you'll think you're behind, but you don't see the sleepless nights, the 6 years of failure before they started. You might look at me and be like, what the fuck, this kid's 19 years old making this much money, but you don't understand. When I was 13 years old, I was going door-to-door knocking, trying to raise money in the neighborhood. I drove to I made my parents drop me off in Beverly Hills. Actually, scratch that. I had my parents drop me and my friend off at a bus station. And we took the train. Actually, it was a train. We took the train station to downtown LA, got an Uber in downtown LA to Beverly Hills when I was 13 years old. I remember I was in 8th grade. and we went door knocking, door by door, to raise money for a clothing brand. Just literally panhandling. No one sees that. No one sees my first online venture was that, and trying to, and it was called Black On, a rebrand of Off-White, and no one sees me selling sneakers, and no one sees me just like all the trials and tribulations that someone goes through as starting a business, and they just ultimately compare to where you are now. You don't see that. Everyone's timeline's different. You shouldn't compare yourself. Even if you're the same age as someone, you shouldn't compare yourself. I mean, a comparison is a thief of joy, and that's a saying that is really common, and I think a lot of you guys have heard it, but none of you guys really understand it, because you have to focus on becoming you, not comparing yourself to everyone else. No one grew up the same way that you grew up. No one had the same situation. No one was taught the same thing. Everyone is different in their own way. So focus on becoming yourself and an older version of yourself instead of comparing yourself to every other person in this entire world. The second you stop looking left and right, you actually start to move forward. And that really taught me something. This is the last step of your journey of not feeling lost. And that's how to find your own direction. If you feel lost, start small. Write down 3 things that you can control today: your effort, your mind, and your habits, let's say. You don't need to know the whole plan of where you want to be and who you want to become, but just plan the next step. Move step by step and write down a goal. This is actually something my dad taught me. And very thankful for my dad. He taught me a lot, and I wouldn't be here without him. But think about who you want to be in the future. Close your eyes and picture yourself of who does 22-year-old or 30-year-old you look like, right? Depends on how old you are watching this, right? Think of yourself 10 years from now. Who do you look like? What do you do? Think of yourself day to day. What time do you wake up in the morning? What do you eat for breakfast? It might sound stupid, but think of it very specifically. What do you eat for breakfast? Where do you go for your morning coffee? Do you have a girlfriend? Are you married? Do you have kids? What do you do for work? What car do you drive? Where do you live? Do you live in an apartment? Do you live in a house? What color hair is your girlfriend? Like, think to the exact definition of who you want to be in the future and compare it to who you are now. When you have that picture in mind, I want you then to write down and make a plan of what you're going to do every single day. And anytime you're lost, anytime you're feeling stupid, or anytime that you feel like you don't know what you're doing, I want you to sit before you make a decision and think, hey, would 30-year-old Sean, for example, do this? And I would think, no, this kid would not be going to drink on a fucking Tuesday, right? I mean, think of what that ideal person looks like and do everything in your power to replicate it now. And that time frame gap will close down. And you might not be that person at 30, but you might be it at 25. So every business, every goal, every transformation, it all starts from one small action repeated every single day. Break these old habits and form new ones. And when you move even a little bit, clarity starts to show up and things will start to pick up and things will start to make sense. And before you know it, you'll look back and think, how the fuck did this happen? You have no idea how fast everything moved and what exactly made this. It's just a buildup of your small little habits. Actions create direction. If you're in your 20s and you feel lost, understand this. Nobody has it figured out. Everyone's fighting their own silent little battles. You're not late, you're just learning. You're not lost, you're becoming yourself. Keep your head down, keep building, and once you look back, one day you'll be able to look back and be like, damn, motherfucker, I did it. And that's probably the best version and the best feeling that you can feel in this entire world. If this hits you, share it with someone that needs to hear it. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Sean Mourey. I'll pop it up right here on the screen. Subscribe. I post videos 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes I fuck up and post 1 time a week. Sometimes I don't post. But anyways, subscribe, like, and comment. Follow me on Instagram. And if you want to know more about how I run my social media marketing agency and scaled it to over 7 figures, just DM me on Instagram. Check out my pages. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.